Hey you! What kind of mother are you? Seriously? This is just unbelievable. You've completely failed as a mother. Excuse me? Who is this? I have no idea why I am being confronted like this. You must have the wrong person. Please be more careful when sending messages next time. Wow! Wrong person? Don't you think you need to apologize to me first? I'm pretty sure I've got the right person. Just look at how you've raised your son. My son? I don't have a son. Yes, you do. Stop lying. Do you think you can get away with acting dumb? I'm Julia. I'm your son's girlfriend. What? Well, technically, I'm his ex-girlfriend, though. I've been through a lot because of your son, and it's all because of how you raised him. Ex-girlfriend? What are you talking about? Do you still think I got the wrong number? I used to date your son, George. Don't tell me you don't know your own son's name. What? George's ex-girlfriend? Hold on. You are a lady? Obviously! That's so rude! You're just as much of a scum as your son. Did George do something to you? Yes, he did. He did something terrible to me. He betrayed me. I was deceived into a marriage scam by George. Marriage scam? Your son dwindled me out of $300,000 in a marriage scam. My son did that? $300,000? Yes, he did. When I confronted him about it, he said he'd been taught since childhood to extort money from women. According to him, everything he did was on his mother's orders, so it wasn't his fault. He also mentioned that he always felt guilty. What? He said that to you? Yes. And I have it recorded on a voice recorder. Wow, I'd love to hear that. No way. I'm keeping this as evidence. I can't trust what you might do with it. If I give this to the police, you and your son will both go to jail for a marriage scam. You wouldn't like that, right? That's why I want you to take responsibility. Responsibility? Yes, for what you've done. What do you mean? Repay the $300,000 now. I'll consider that as settlement money. Also, since I'm pregnant, take responsibility and pay child support. You're pregnant with George? You're kidding, right? This is no joke. Why would I make a joke about it? George promised to marry me. I trusted him and loved him, so I lent him $300,000. And yet, when I told him about the pregnancy, he said he had no intention of marrying me and ran away. I bet he's hiding in your house right now, isn't he? Well, he's here in my house. See? I knew it. So that confirms that you two are accomplices in the crime. I will never forgive you and your son. Enjoy your peace while it lasts. Because once I submit this evidence to the police, it's over for you. Is that so? Well, go ahead and do as you please. Oh, really? You're trying to make me lower my guard and steal the voice recorder, aren't you? Or maybe you're thinking of blackmailing me. But I'm not afraid of you. Justice will prevail. What are you talking about? You two are filthy, despicable criminals. You'd take any terrifying means to avoid getting caught by the police, right? I know what you're thinking. I'm just taking righteous action against a scammer. I'm offering to settle things out of court. I'll drop the marriage scam charges if you return the $300,000. I'll get rid of the evidence too. Also, I'll raise the child by myself. So please pay child support to me. It's that easy, you know. Think carefully about whether you'd prefer to go to jail with your son or pay $300,000 in child support. You're contradicting yourself in so many ways, aren't you? Whatever. Just do whatever you want. Please submit that so-called evidence to the police. Are you sure about that? Anyway, I'll make sure you and George take full responsibility. Repay the $300,000 in child support. Anything else is non-negotiable. I see. I'm pretty sure there's a misunderstanding. Please give me some time to talk to my husband first. There's no way I'm wrong, but whatever. If your husband found out that his son was a filthy marriage scammer who exploited people for money, I don't know what would happen to you, you know? You're fine with stealing from others, but desperate to save yourself, huh? You are indeed a vile criminal. If everything you say is a lie, then you're the one committing fraud. It's not a lie, so it doesn't matter. Just give me $300,000 in child support. Hey, honey, are you done with your work? Not yet. I have to finish writing a report about my business trip today. I can't wait to go back home, honey. Me too. I know you are busy, but there's something I need to talk to you about. What's wrong? I got a weird message from someone today. According to that person, George was involved in a marriage scam. And now, the woman he conned out of $300,000 is pregnant. What? George did that? And the woman is pregnant? What the hell is going on? She said her name was Julia and claimed that she was George's ex-girlfriend. According to her, I instructed George to take the money. So she's demanding compensation and child support. Did you agree to pay? Of course not. I thought so. It's probably just a prank. Don't take it seriously. George wouldn't do something like that anyway. Or maybe there's been some misunderstanding. I also think there might be some misunderstanding. She even said that she has a voice recorder with George's confession recorded on it. She's all fired up to take it to the police and file a complaint. I find it hard to believe that she'd be so confident with a bold lie like that. I don't know. Some people do, don't they? There's no way our son would do such a thing. It's obviously a lie. Maybe that person, Julia, is the scammer? Maybe. But the fact that she knew my contact information scares me. I don't recognize the name Julia. Is my personal information leaked to scammers? Do you know any woman named Julia? Nope. I don't think I knew anyone by that name either. I see. I don't know what to do now. If she's really a scammer, she might be using a fake name. Anyway, I'll be back home tomorrow. You know, it might be a good idea to take George and stay somewhere safe tonight. You're right. Julia might know our address, so I'll contact my parents and have Dad come pick us up. Yeah, that's a good idea. Also, it might be best not to reply until we figure out how she got your number. If anything happens, you should report it to the police immediately. Just be careful, okay? Okay, I will. I'll get ready to leave right away. Good. If anything happens, let me know right away. I will. I'll let you know when I arrive at my parents' house. Okay, take care. Where's the $300,000 in child support? Did your husband leave you because he found out you were a scammer? Don't tell me you don't have money to pay me. Even if that's the case, it's your own fault. I won't forgive you until I get the money. Look. Look how big my belly has gotten. Do you realize that my baby is your grandchild? Raising your son to be a scammer and taking money from him? What kind of mother are you? Pay up the $300,000 in child support now. If you don't pay today, I'll submit the evidence to the police. If that happens, both you and George will end up in jail. If you don't want that, just pay me now. Doesn't it look familiar? Wait. No way. It's crazy, right? Maybe we can find out who this person is. Yeah, maybe we can find out who she's referring to about George. Yeah, you're right. I'll ask around on my way home from work. Thank you. Please be careful, honey. I will. See you soon. Hi, Julia. Finally, you replied. Oh well, I already filed a complaint for marriage scam. I'll make your son take responsibility. Let me tell you something. George is a cat. What? I should have clarified that sooner. But it's your fault for not checking the fact too, you know? Oh, what do you mean? You got my contact information from one of the regulars at the bar, right? How did you know? I recognized the location in the photo you sent. It was taken at the bar my husband and I frequent. You're Julia Davis, an employee at that bar. How did you know my full name too? I explained the situation to the manager of the bar and he told me. Then I checked with the person who gave you my contact information. Apparently, you told that person that George caused trouble with a young lady. Actually, he asked me if I had heard from you. I corrected him saying that George is a house cat, so of course, he didn't cause any trouble with the lady. Are you kidding? A cat? But I heard you were bragging about buying a new house for George. And you even bought him a condo. Do you mean a $100 cat condo? Stop lying. You said George was your family, your son. I heard you guys happily chatting at the bar. George is a male cat, so... For my husband and me, who don't have children, he's our precious son. What the hell? So George is really... a cat. Oh my God. I wanted to meet George, so I worked at the bar to gather information. I overheard conversations about a house and a condo for George. And since it sounded like it was from a wealthy family, I was sure it was George I was looking for. I see. So it's all your misunderstanding. Oh my God, it can't be true. The George you mentioned is your college friend, right? He comes from a wealthy family. Yes, you know him? I heard it from the manager. Apparently, George got a job at an overseas company 5 years ago. And he hasn't returned since then. I heard that you shared that story with the manager. It's obvious that you couldn't be pregnant with this child. So what were you thinking with all these marriage scams and pregnancy claims? Damn it! Yeah, you're right. It's all a lie. I knew it. It's all George's fault. When we were in college, no matter how much I confessed my feelings to him, he wouldn't take me seriously. And to make matters worse, he started dating another girl. He went abroad without telling me anything, and he hasn't contacted me since. Don't you think that's terrible? Well, it's hard for me to judge because I don't know anything about it. I hated him so much for looking down on me. I heard about his family living in this town, so I moved here to seek revenge. If I couldn't have George himself, I thought I could at least extort money from George's parents and feel better. And yet, I can't believe all the stories that I heard were about a cat. I had no idea that it was actually about a completely different George. Expecting people to believe in a pregnancy or marriage scam involving someone they haven't seen for years, why would you even think they'd believe you? I thought it would work if I had evidence. The recorded proof that his mother threatened him and committed marriage scam. But that's fabricated, right? You asked somebody to make a fake voice record, and the pregnancy was a complete lie too. You got help from your coworkers, stuffed padding into your clothes to make you look pregnant, and then took a photo, right? Your manager saw everything. I showed him the photo that you sent me. He mentioned he always thought you were a bit odd, but he never imagined you'd commit a crime. He also said he's going to fire you. What? Why? I didn't commit any crimes. You misused customers' personal information, threatened them, and slandered them. Furthermore, you fabricated evidence about George. I've filed a police report, and I'm sure the police will be on their way soon. You might not face criminal charges, but at the very least, you'll be forced to leave the bar. Abusing customers' personal information is the biggest taboo in the service industry. Why would you do such a terrible thing? I'm a victim hurt by George. I have a right to revenge, don't I? This time, I just made a mistake about the target. Please make your excuses to the police. No, don't report it, please. Just explain that it was a misunderstanding to the police. We have your photo, testimonies from people at the bar, and screenshots of our conversation. You can't just say it was a misunderstanding. You should have been more careful with handling personal information before thinking about revenge. Julia was arrested by the police and, during interrogation, it emerged that she had committed several other crimes in addition to our case. She had been stalking a married man resembling George among the bar customers, and was also embezzling money from the cash register. Since the offenses came to light, she ended up in jail. The bar owner and Julia's parents offered us apologies, and the matter was resolved. Nevertheless, out of caution, we decided to relocate. We had been considering moving to a larger house for George's benefit, so it worked out well. George is lounging around today without a care in the world about our human drama. Watching him like that puts my mind at ease.
What's wrong with you, sis? I went out of my way to send you an invite to my wedding. I can't believe that you're not going to come. What's your problem? That's what I should be asking you. Are you serious? I couldn't believe that you even bothered to send me an invitation. What in the world makes you think that I would want to go? You guys both betrayed me. I don't even want to see either of your faces again. Oh, I get it now. You still have feelings for Mark, don't you? Of course not. It makes me angry just hearing his name. I can't believe you still have feelings for him. It's been 2 years already. Time to move on, sis. I know that he has his own company and is a great person to be with, but you can't just stay attached forever. It was your fault that you didn't end up marrying him. I guess you're struggling to find another man because of how unattractive you are. Maybe that's why you just can't forget about him. I'm telling you, it's nothing like that. Unfortunately for you, Mark is marrying me. There's no way I'm going to give him back to you.
Don't worry about it. I don't even want him back. Especially after he's been with you.
What did you just say?
Even if you begged me to take him back, I wouldn't want him. Not even if he was the last guy in the world. You don't need to worry about me ever going after him. Go and get married with him, but please leave me out of it.
Hey, sis! Is it true what Mom told me? You're going to come to the wedding after all? Why did you decide to turn up? You should be thankful that I reserved a seat for you just in case you turned up. I'm surprised that you actually decided to come, though. I can't stop smiling. You seemed so adamant in not coming before.
I'm actually not here because of the invite you sent me.
What are you talking about? Why are you here then? Oh, did Mark send you a wedding invite as well? I'm so happy he went the extra mile to get you to come. He really is an amazing man. What a great surprise!
That's not what happened either.
You must really still have feelings for Mark if you're here because he invited you himself.
I'm only here because of something related to work. I don't really want to be here.
You really don't have to make up excuses like that. I know why you're really here. Well, I'm glad everyone started to turn up now. Thank you so much for coming to my wedding, sis. It's really made my day. I'll make sure to show you just how happy me and Mark are together. I just can't wait to see your ugly face afterward. I'm the winner! What is wrong with you? What was that all about? Are you crazy? Why did you have to do such an embarrassing thing at my wedding? I can't believe that you have no morals on top of being so ugly.
What are you talking about?
You were sitting next to Trent Price throughout the entire wedding. Do you know who he is? He's a very important person. Someone like you should not be anywhere near him.
Oh, Trent? Yeah, I was sitting next to him. What is the problem with that? I don't think I did anything that's embarrassing.
Mr. Price is the CEO of one of the companies that does business with Mark's company.
Yeah, I know about that.
You knew about that and still decided to sit next to him? I can't believe you!
I still don't see what's wrong about it. Why do you care so much anyway?
I guess you're trying to find a man that's richer than Mark to try and make me jealous or something. You're just a gold digger. Unfortunately for you, that plan is not going to work. Mr. Price just got married last month. I can't believe that you're so desperate that you would go after someone else's husband.
I would never do such a thing. Why would you even suggest that?
Stop trying to act like you're so innocent. I guess ugly people like you really have to try so hard to get into a relationship. Please try to have some morals, though. Going after married men is just way too desperate.
I'm not doing anything like that. Please stop making assumptions about me. Also, I got married recently, so there's no need for me to look for a partner anymore.
What are you talking about? I know that you're lying, you loser. It's really sad. You're just embarrassing yourself. Please stop making yourself look even more miserable.
If you don't believe me, then why don't you try asking Mark about it?
Why would I do that?
Mark was the one that invited Trent in the first place. He made a big deal of inviting him, so Trent felt like he couldn't really refuse. I don't know if Mark realized I was his wife when he invited him, though. I did ask Trent to explain it to him, though, so you guys wouldn't be so surprised. We were both worried it would be a little awkward for you guys since I used to be engaged to Mark and everything. Mark said it was fine, though. I guess you never got the memo.
What did you just say? You're his new wife?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Who else did you think it was if not me? The old lady sitting on the other side of him?
How was I supposed to know about it? Why would I ever imagine someone like you would manage to get married to someone like Mr. Price?
Well, I guess this is the first time I've attended a business-related event with him. We had our wedding abroad and only invited a very few close friends and relatives.
Why haven't I heard anything about this at all?
I had cut ties with both you and our parents after what happened with Mark 2 years ago. I still can't believe our parents were on your side after you stole Mark from me. I wasn't planning on letting you know at all, but it really couldn't be helped since Trent felt obligated to attend the wedding.
I can't believe that any of this is really happening.
I heard that Mark was really surprised too. When Trent first brought it up, I guess Mark thought that it was just someone else with the same name as me. Apparently Mark got really agitated once he realized it really was me. I guess he couldn't say no to me coming to the wedding, as he was the one who invited my husband.
I still can't believe this. This isn't fair at all. Mr. Price is one of the most respected guys in the industry, and on top of all that, he is really handsome. His company is much bigger than Mark's company. In fact, it's not even close. I was really jealous of the woman when I first heard that he got married. Why does his wife have to be you of all people? Why is it my ugly sister that gets to be with him? It's just not fair at all. There's no way that you should ever be happier than me. It's not possible.
Kate, that's enough complaining. You just had your wedding today. You're married now, so stop carrying on like a little brat and enjoy yourself.
I am not being a brat. How dare you? You know what? I just thought of a great idea. If Mr. Price is willing to get married to someone as ugly as you, then maybe I still have a chance with him too. I'm much more attractive than you, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get his attention.
What did you just say? Are you crazy?
It's a great idea. I can start flirting with him right away. I'm going to go and tell Mark that I'm getting married to Mr. Price instead. I'll go tell him right now.
You can't be serious. You really need to stop and think this through before you do anything too stupid.
Why didn't it work? How could he resist my charms? Something's wrong for sure. It was so easy when I took Mark from you. He fell for me so quickly. I'm definitely the more attractive woman between the two of us.
You really are such an idiot. You know that people like Mark are very rare. Most people don't cheat on their fiancé when they're engaged. Most men actually have some morals, you know. They don't just go sleeping around with anyone when they're in a relationship.
And it's me that we're talking about. There must be something wrong if he's saying no to me. A beautiful woman like me is offering to marry him.
Have you still not noticed?
What are you talking about this time?
Do you not know who Mr. Price is?
Of course I know who he is. He's the CEO of one of Mark's business partners.
That's not what I'm talking about. I guess he looks very different recently because he wears contacts now instead of glasses. He also lost a lot of weight and cleaned up his appearance.
What are you saying? Are you trying to tell me that Mr. Price is someone that I should recognize from the past?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Stop being so secretive and just tell me who it is then.
His last name actually used to be Green.
Green?
He used to be Trent Green. His last name changed after his parents divorced. It was super messy and he decided he wanted to take his mother's last name. That's why his current name is Trent Price. The guy that you keep calling Mr. Price is actually Trent Green.
Trent Green? That nerdy kid with glasses?
You shouldn't be calling him names like that, but yeah, he's the one. Your precious Mr. Price is the guy that you bullied and called names throughout high school.
That can't be true.
Trent said that you and your friends really treated him badly back in high school. He knows how terrible of a person you are really deep down. You had already lost any chance you had at ever being with him way back then. No matter how much you flirt with him now, it's not going to make a difference. He said he'll never forget the way that you treated him back then.
I can't believe this. Okay, fine. I don't care anymore. I'll let you have him this time. Just don't think that you've beaten me because of this. I'm going to find an even richer guy than Trent to get married to. I'm going to make you so jealous of me.
Stop being like that. Why don't we sort out what's really happening right now?
What do you mean? There's nothing to sort out?
What was all that drama about yesterday then? You ruined your whole wedding after the ceremony was already finished, and I heard there's no way Mark is going to submit the wedding papers. I'd call that a pretty certified disaster for you.
Well, all of that is your fault. None of it is my responsibility. If you had never got engaged to either of them, then none of this would have happened in the first place.
Do you really think that? You're not that stupid, are you?
What are you suggesting?
You do know that everything that happened is all your fault, right? The reason why your marriage collapsed before it even started was because you were flirting with other men on the day of your wedding. That was your choice, no one else's. If you really don't think it's your fault, then you have a lot of thinking to do. I've got to get going now. Goodbye.
Hey! The fees for the wedding and reception and stuff added up to around $100,000. When do you think that you can pay it all by?
Why would I help you pay for anything? Are you out of your mind?
Because everything that happened was your fault. It's kind of obvious that the person who caused the trouble should be paying for it. I'll tell you the details on who to give the money to later. Make sure you pay it all as soon as you can.
You really are something. Are you seriously trying to weasel out of the responsibility? You should think about what you've done and apologize as soon as you can.
Why do I have to be the one to apologize?
You were invoiced for the $100,000, not me. There's a reason for that. It's because you are the one responsible for all this.
No, I'm not! Stop blaming me!
You're such an idiot. I remember you were acting like this 2 years ago when you stole Mark from me. You told me it was my fault that I lost Mark because I was too ugly or something along those lines. Once I got a lawyer involved, none of your ridiculous excuses worked, and you ended up having to pay me a settlement fee for breaking up my engagement. I think Mark paid the fees for you back then, right?
Why are you bringing that up all of a sudden?
I just brought it up to show you that you haven't learned anything from the mistakes you've made in the past.
What did you just say to me? Are you suggesting that I'm stupid or something?
Yes! Finally, we have a breakthrough! You have to take responsibility when you do immoral things like ruining a wedding. What happened at the wedding yesterday was your fault, and you are responsible for paying all the fees associated. You really need to start realizing how unacceptable your behavior is.
None of what you're saying to me makes any sense. A girl as beautiful as me can get away with doing anything. That's how it's been all my life.
Are you sure you're going to be able to say the same thing in front of a lawyer? Could you make up that excuse again if the police come to arrest you? If they take you to court, could you say the same thing to the judge?
What? I'm in that much trouble?
In our society, it's normal to apologize to someone if you do something wrong. If what you did is bad enough and an apology cannot solve the situation, then things are escalated. This is where money can get involved to try to repair the damages done. Worst case, it can involve prison time or lawsuits for the one that caused the trouble. Right now, you're being asked for money to make up for the wedding you ruined and the engagement that was broken. These things are your responsibility, and you have to own up to them eventually.
What have I done?
2 years ago, Mark helped you out by paying me the settlement fees for breaking up my engagement, but he won't help you this time. I doubt that our parents are able to afford anything close to $100,000. This time, you're going to be all by yourself. They've saved you many times in the past before, but you've crossed a line this time.
Well, that's why I'm talking to you.
Do you still not understand? You caused trouble to my husband in the past by bullying him and calling him names. 2 years ago, you ruined my life by stealing my fiancé from me and ending my engagement. Do you really need me to tell you that I'm not going to be helping you out? Just how dense are you? I absolutely hate you. You deserve everything that you get.
Well, what am I supposed to do then? You're not being helpful at all. How in the world am I meant to pay $100,000? That's way too much money.
Looks like you're just going to have to work and earn the money.
I'm going to have to work for it?
You kept on saying that you're never going to work because you're so beautiful and that you can just get married to a rich guy for money. You're halfway through your 20s and you still haven't had a single job. Maybe it's time you faced reality. No matter how much you beg, no one is going to save you this time round. It's time to admit that you were wrong and start looking for a job. That's the only option that you have left, Kate.
You're telling me that I have to find a job? That can't be true. I don't want to have to work. I thought my plan of marrying someone rich would work.
I think your plan isn't going to work after what you've done. Give up with your stupid ideas and start working like everyone else.
Why are you being so mean to me?
You should be thanking me for telling you the truth. There's nothing left for me to say to you, and I've got to go anyway. Goodbye, Kate.
I have to find a job? How do I do that? I've never worked or even tried to look for a job before.
So many things happened in the following months after that day. First, Mark started to follow me around everywhere like a stalker. Trent found out about it and managed to get Mark fired after talking to Mark's boss about it. Word got around about what Kate had done, and those rumors had spread all the way to my father's workplace. My father couldn't stand it and ended up quitting his job. My parents tried to fix their relationship with me, but I refused, of course. I knew they only came to me for money. My father found a new part-time job, but it's not very well paid. Now on to Kate. My parents had finally had enough of her and cut her out of their lives. After wandering around for a while not knowing what to do, she ended up borrowing a large sum of money to pay Mark. Now she is working a job that she can't really say in public to try and pay back her debt. It was quite depressing to read the text that she would send me boasting about how much she earned selling her body. Trent recommended me to just ignore the messages and block her, so I took his advice.